Hi friends, I get asked this really often. So how do I keep finding winning companies? See, I understand why you ask this often. It's because most of you want to be independent thinkers and I want you to be independent too. That's my goal for you too. So who knows, I may get to an accident tomorrow and probably get hit by a non-Tesla car. So this video, I will share with you how I pick winning companies like Square, Tesla and Illumina stock. I will also cover specifically in detail on the two criteria that I set for myself choosing these companies. So there are so many companies listed on the stocks exchange selling an amazing product, amazing sales, and yet the stock price remains relatively flat. There are like over 7,000 stocks listed on the stocks exchange, and to be listed on the stocks exchange, your company should generally have a good product or service. So while most of these companies are not scams, there are many companies with amazing products, amazing sales, and yet the stock price remains flat. On the other spectrum, there are companies with shitty products, bad sales, and yet stock price goes up. You have seen tons of them. The hard truth is, most investors and fund managers don't understand what I'm going to teach you. That is why 90% of them underperform the index. So frankly, I don't give a crap ass if the company have perfect financials. I've seen so many of such companies only to see them fail over the long term. Value investing is dead. So what is the winning formula? You see, you can have an amazing product that sells well, but if nobody knows you, nobody is going to invest. If you have a shitty product or an amazing concept, everybody knows the company. The stock price may go up over the short term, but over the long term, the stock is going to fail, just like Theranos.
My own life's work in building Theranos.
The winning formula has to be a combination of two: a fundamentally good product service with good media coverage. A good product or service alone won't do. The rule of thumb is, if many people are using your product or service, it needs good media coverage. So media coverage can be a form of raving fans or plenty of good analyst report. So do not bet against such companies no matter how bad the finances look. Think Apple, think Amazon, think Facebook. Think about the amount of hate these companies got in the early days. So heck, think about Microsoft.
Een stralende Bill Gates, maar niet voor lang.
I bet you guys forgotten about that clip. So if there are a lot of people using a product or service, and if there's a lot of raving fans, never bet against it no matter how crazy it looks. There is never one instance that it turned out well to bet against companies like them. So I hope you are learning something so far. The stock market is a pretty simple place. Most people buying into stocks are not sophisticated investors. They are not like fund managers and people that study the whole financial report. They don't go in depth. The truth is, most people are just simple people. They look at a good product, they look, hey, this Apple product is good and many people are using it, I'll buy it, I'll buy the stock. Or some people, they eat like, the Shake Shack burger, they eat it and like, wow, this is delicious, I will buy the stock. Most people buy the why, they do not buy the what or how. So do watch this video by Simon Sinek, I'll link it up here and down below. Part 2 of the video, I'll talk about the two criteria. For me to consider a buy into a company, two things must happen: the proof of concept and the ability to scale. I've said this like multiple times and I see comments. Do a video on Neo, do a video on Nikola and other funny companies I get in the comments. If you understand these 2 points, the answer will be really clear to you. So the first one, which is proof of concept. The company must produce a product or service that is being used and adopted by at least a few thousand people. Think like Amazon, a few thousand people were using their service. Or think like Facebook, think Apple and think Tesla. Tesla had about 1,000 cars they sold before they went into IPO. All these companies had good products or good services with raving fans. The second criteria, which is the hardest part, scaling.
And then, as I said, then building the Starlink production line was, I don't know, 1,000% harder than designing the satellite to begin with.
Scaling is so much harder, 1,000 times harder. I'm not even kidding you on the multiple. For every company you invest in, you need to ask this question: are they able to scale? If the answer is no, walk away. If you are not sure and strongly believe in them, buy a little. But if the answer is no, walk away. There is no better way to say this. Scaling a business, what's involved? Why is it so important? Imagine you build a prototype and a lot of people like it. So now your next step is to build thousands to millions of the same product. You will need at least 10,000 employees. You need to hire at least 10,000 employees. You need to manage your supply chain. For your info, Tesla has like thousands of suppliers down the line. So think about just the body frame alone, the metal supplier to the suppliers that supplies the metal supplier. How about the machine supplier? There are suppliers that supply the machine supply and it goes down the whole chain. How about the body paint? Oh my god, that is another long chain downwards. The world's supply chain is really complicated and all interconnected. How about the need for constant innovation? You will need R&D. A company that size without constant innovation will die over time. On top of all the above, where you need to sort it out in perfect harmony, you cannot do all those which I just mentioned without money. Money. You need it to scale massively, and there is no way you can pay up in cash. When you need the money, you need to go to the capital markets, both private and public markets. Then you will need to deal with the investors. That is the biggest pain up your ass. I just scratched the surface of everything. Think about the amount of companies that failed in scaling. It is crazy. It's not like 1 out of 10 companies that can't scale. It's probably like 1 out of a few million. So building a successful business is hard enough. And now add 1,000 times difficulty to scale. Elon is not joking when he said it's 1,000 times harder. Now it comes to the question I constantly get. So what do I think of NIO, Nikola, etc.? Look, NIO, they don't even have their own factory. Somebody else is building for them. Nikola, the proof of concept is not even out. It's not even proven. Oh mine. Look at companies like Faraday Future and all those that failed. The reasons for bankruptcy is not being able to scale. When Trevor Milton said in this interview, we have the best business plan. All that is left is to do is execute.
Only thing we have to do is just the execution, and that's it.
Wow, if I could roll my eyes around the moon, I will. I mean, what the hell? All that is left is to execute. Right there is a freaking big red flag. Shows the amount of experience that he has. At least he is smart enough to step down as a CEO after this reverse listing is done. If it fails, blame it on the CEO and say that he's not able to execute. It's not my fault. So friends, concluding this video, to pick winning companies, they got to have a good product or service or both. The company has to be well known in the industry or worldwide. If nobody knows, it doesn't matter how good the product or service is, it will always forever remain as an undervalued gem. Next thing is you need to watch out for these two criteria, which I mentioned over multiple videos, and I'll continue until you get sick of it, and I'll still continue saying this because it is the most important factor to prevent you from making a bad decision. The company must be able to, number one, proof of concept, and number two, the ability to scale. It is so important, and I can't stress how important this is to you. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. Liking the video helps me reach more people and helps me in my mission. And as always, invest safe.